Chapter 3298. Oh no! What is the Dragon King trying to do? When the experts from the chaotic continent saw Wang Xian appearing beside them in an instant, their pupils constricted and their faces were filled with horror. They could feel the threat of death looming over them. Without any hesitation, some tried to escape while others tried to escape back to their own cosmic god nation. A bunch of idiots. My dragon palace has said that whoever covets our spoils of war shall die. Wang Xian stared at them coldly. His eyes were filled with malice. His arm turned into a dragon claw and enveloped all of them. Boom. In the next instant, death loomed over them. No. Dragon King, no. Their expressions changed drastically. Wang Xian's terrifying speed gave them no chance to escape. Their eyes were bloodshot as they roared with indignation. Bam. But in the next instant, the destructive energy landed on them and wiped out their vitality rapidly. However, one of the middle-aged men emitted a dull yellow radiance. The dull yellow radiance flashed and disappeared, leaving behind a corpse. Around him, the other dozen people were also killed by the demons. Even a rank 7 universe venerable couldn't withstand a single move from Wang Xian. Wang Xian snorted coldly as his face was filled with cold, killing intent. Go back, he said to Tianzhen and Enlai before disappearing. Tianzhen and Enlai returned to the Dragon Palace instantly. Damn it. Damn the Dragon King. They aren't a match for the Sorcerer Demon race. They didn't dare to do anything to the Sorcerer Demon race and wanted to kill us. You guys from the Dragon Palace deserve to die. Just as Wang Xian returned to the Dragon Palace, at the same time, in a swamp at the edge of Chaotic Continent. On the dull yellow swamp, there were several dull yellow palaces. These palaces weren't stationary as some of them slowly entered the swamp. In one of the palaces, a lifeless mud man slowly showed signs of life. He opened his eyes and his face was filled with endless anger. His body was trembling. He was a person who had died once. Even if he was resurrected now, the price of resurrection was too great. Moreover, more than a dozen of his companions had been killed by the Dragon King. How did they offend the Dragon King? It was because the Dragon King thought they were easy to bully. Dragon King. His face was filled with unwillingness as he roared, his body trembling violently. However, he knew that he was no match for the Dragon King. Their race was no match for the Dragon Palace. The Mudman's body trembled violently. A few minutes later, he took out the Universe AI and immediately began to write information on it. Even if he could not take revenge, he wanted to disgust the Dragon King. Dragon King, what about the Orthodox gods? In the Dragon Palace, when Prime Minister Turtle saw Wang Xian and the rest return, he frowned and walked over to ask the Dragon King softly. It's been occupied by the Lich country. They have 11 level 8 universe venerables there. Turtle Prime Minister, search the AI for information regarding the Lich country. Wang Xian instructed him with a solemn face. His body moved and he sat on the dragon throne. The anger in his heart also gradually calmed down. Since the experts of the Lich country, the Lich King wanted to go against the Dragon Palace and play along with the Dragon Palace, Wang Xian would play along with them. The strongest expert in the entire Lich country was only a level 8 universe venerables. Wang Xian and the Dragon Palace had this trump card to play with them. He wanted the Lich country to spit out all the things they had obtained. He wanted them to pay a hefty price. Yes, Dragon King. Prime Minister Turtle's expression changed slightly as he nodded immediately. Prime Minister Turtle could naturally imagine how massive the god countries and treasures of the Orthodox gods were. Disregarding everything else, just those god countries alone could greatly enhance the devouring dragon clan. As for other resources, there was no need to mention them. These resources were significant and important to the Dragon Palace. However, he did not expect them to be snatched away. He immediately turned on the AI and ordered some of his subordinates to start searching for information regarding the Lich country. Wang Xian sat on the dragon throne and pondered for a while. His figure disappeared instantly and came to the Crimson Gold Battle Dragon Palace beside the Dragon Palace. At this moment, half of the building materials in the Dragon Palace were gone. Roving Crab's massive body was still devouring continuously. Dragon King. Sensing Wang Xian's arrival, Roving Crab immediately stopped and greeted him. How long will it take to devour this dragon palace and the dragon palace of the Tempest Thunder Divine Dragon? Wang Xian asked him directly. Dragon King, I'm afraid it will take another year or two. This dragon palace is too sturdy and rich in energy. Roving Crab replied immediately. The dragon palace of a powerful dragon king wasn't that easy to devour. Back then, even a level 8 or 9 universe venerable expert couldn't break through these dragon palaces. Roving Crab was also devouring from the inside. If it was from the outside, he wouldn't even be able to bite through it. It was within his expectations that the devouring would be so slow. It's all right. There's no hurry. Wang Xian nodded his head. This speed wasn't slow at all. Initially, Wang Xian had planned to wait until the Dragon Palace reached the continental encirclement starry sky and absorbed the Orthodox gods and ancient sea races for a few years before landing. However, some of the plans were disrupted by the Lich country. However, he still didn't intend to land immediately. The landing battle would have to wait until Roving Crab and the rest had leveled up. As for the Lich country, Wang Xian could settle it even without Roving Crab and the rest. He moved and immediately returned to the Dragon Palace. He switched on the Universe AI and searched for information about the Lich country. The Lich country was a force at the border of the chaotic continent. The landing battle could also be carried out in the Lich country. However, basically, no forces would choose to do so. They were considered to be among the top 3 forces at the border of the continent. The sorcerer lineage was originally one of the most elite lineages. They could fight beyond their level and had bizarre attacks. This made the other forces in the chaotic continent fearful. However, when Wang Xian started searching for information about the Lich country, he saw the latest news. The treasures of the righteous god clans, the divine kingdoms of all the experts and elites, were all obtained by the Lich kingdom. When the Dragon King rushed over, he could only flee with his tail between his legs while facing the experts of the Lich clan. The Dragon King of the Dragon Palace is too arrogant. The forces in the continental encirclement starry sky wouldn't dare to touch your spoils of war. However, the forces in the chaotic continent dare to touch them. Now that all the treasures of the Orthodox gods have been taken by the Lich country, the Dragon King doesn't even dare to let out a fart. There were several similar pieces of news. Moreover, they were still quite popular. This made Wang Xian raise his eyebrows slightly. Chapter 3299. What happened? The treasures of the upright god races were taken by the powerful forces of the chaotic continent? The experts from the Lich kingdom of the chaotic continent took the treasures of the upright god races? No way, it was really taken over by the Lich kingdom? The Dragon Palace has suffered a great loss this time. This is the holy kingdom of over 10,000 supremacies, and all the treasures of the upright god races. To think that the Lich kingdom took over. The Lich kingdom is very strong. They have over 10 rank 8 supremacies. The Dragon Palace is not their match. When someone posted the news about the treasures of the upright god races on the Universe AI, it attracted a lot of attention and excitement. The Dragon Palace annihilated the 2 races and warned the other races not to touch the treasures of the 2 races. The forces surrounding the continental starry sky did not dare to make a move. But what they did not expect was that the powerful forces of the chaotic continent dared to make a move, and even took over the treasures. The continental starry sky did not know much about the Lich kingdom. But they also knew that it was not an ordinary force at the edge of the chaotic continent. It was a powerful force. Through the Universe AI, they could find some basic information about the Lich kingdom. Not to mention anything else, just the dozen or so rank 8 universe venerable powerhouses were not something that the forces surrounding the continent could compare to. Even the Dragon Palace was not a match for the Lich kingdom. Not to mention, now that the experts had revealed the treasures, the Dragon King could only escape dejectedly. The treasures of the upright god races were taken by others. To the Dragon Palace, it was a huge loss. Most importantly, the Dragon Palace could not do anything about it. This caused the experts of the continental starry sky to discuss in shock. This was a huge blow to the prestige of the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian looked at the information on the universe AI, his eyes shining. Hee, if I'm not wrong, it was revealed by the guy who escaped. Wang Xian murmured. This matter could not have been revealed by the Lich Kingdom. They had already taken over the treasures, there was no need to anger the Dragon Palace. After all, although the Dragon Palace was not as powerful as them, there were still experts who could match them in terms of peak combat power. In that case, it could only be the dozen or so experts that he had killed. One of them managed to escape with the help of a powerful life-saving treasure. Looking at the messages posted by the same account, a cold look appeared in his eyes. Not only were there the two messages at the beginning, but there were also many who said that the Dragon King was trash and that such an existence would be killed sooner or later in the chaotic continent. He also told the Dragon Palace not to be too arrogant. There were many powerful existences in the chaotic land of the heaven-opening world. Arrogance would lead to destruction. He had sent more than a dozen messages. It was clear that this guy hated the Dragon King to the core. So this is what a keyboard warrior is? Do you really think that there's nothing we can do to you just because you escaped? The corner of Wang Xian's mouth curved into a smirk as a cold look flashed across his eyes. He had already collected the corpses. Through the corpses, he would be able to find out which faction they came from in the desolate continent. The other party only dared to make noise on the universe artificial intelligence, which proved that the strength of this race was inferior to that of the Dragon Palace. Otherwise, they wouldn't be hiding behind the keyboard, taunting and cursing. Time passed day by day. It was gradually confirmed that the treasures of the Orthodox god races had been taken away by the experts of the witch nation of the chaotic land of the heaven-opening world. Meanwhile, the Dragon Palace entered the starry sky completely. They didn't go to the Orthodox god races but flew directly to the origin of the Guhai race. The god nations of the Guhai race experts were hidden everywhere. Moreover, the treasures of the Guhai race couldn't be compared to those of the Orthodox god races. Therefore, no faction from the chaotic land of the heaven-opening world coveted the treasures of the Guhai race. After another 10 days, the Dragon Palace arrived at the starry sky where the Guhai race was. Over the next few days, the Dragon Palace started to search for the god nations of the Guhai race experts. Dragon King, I broke through. 2 days later, the strength of the heavenly formation broke through completely. A level 7 universe supremacy was considered pretty good in the chaotic land of the heaven-opening world. Good. Come with me. Wang Xian looked at the heavenly formation and said, in the past 12 days, besides collecting more information about the witch nation, he had been waiting for the heavenly formation to break through. This time, he still needed the heavenly formation to investigate some matters. For example, the dozen races that he had killed. That fellow had been clamoring on the universe AI for a long time. Chu Xian was prepared to give them a surprise. Yes, Dragon King. The heavenly formation nodded. Let's head over directly. Enter the mother nest and wait for further orders. As Wang Xian spoke, he waved his arm and kept the heavenly formation into the mother nest. After instructing Prime Minister Turtle, he flew out of the Dragon Palace and arrived at the teleportation formation of the Guhai race planet. Currently, the Dragon Palace was receiving all the treasures and legacies of the Guhai race. The Dragon Palace was also temporarily staying in a sea region. After 2 transfers through the teleportation formation, Wang Xian appeared on the planet of the Guhai race in front of the chaotic land of the heaven-opening world. Now, this planet had been taken over by the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian moved and flew towards the direction of the chaotic land of the heaven-opening world at a terrifying speed. After flying for half an hour, an incomparably vast continent appeared in his line of sight. An ancient and primordial aura came from the continent in front of them. Wang Xian looked at the indescribably huge continent and felt the primordial aura. A faint sense of respect rose in his heart. The chaotic land of the heaven-opening world. The center of the universe, the first continent at the beginning of the world. The birthplace of all living things. Looking at the vast land, Wang Xian slowed down a little. As the continent got closer, he could feel how insignificant he was. Even though he had reached the combat power of a rank 8 universe venerable, he still felt insignificant on this continent. On the continent, there were all kinds of tall trees, huge mountains, and all kinds of wild beasts flying in the sky and running on the ground. Is this the chaotic land of the heaven-opening world? Even the spiritual energy is unusually dense. When he came to the sky above the chaotic land of the heaven-opening world, Wang Xian scanned the surrounding grass and trees. In the chaotic land of the heaven-opening world, every living thing had the possibility of developing spiritual intelligence. Grass, trees, mountains, and even rivers had the possibility of possessing intelligence. Therefore, it was best not to cause wanton destruction in the chaotic land of the heaven-opening world. This was because one might accidentally touch the roots or territory of a powerful existence and be attacked. Chapter 3300. Chaotic Continent was a place where the strong preyed on the weak. Once the experts from the surrounding starry skies entered this place, they would be killed. Here, the only rule was survival of the fittest. The entire chaotic wasteland continent was huge, so huge that it exceeded everyone's imagination. As the origin of life in the universe, the number of supremacies here was terrifying. Here, only rank 7 supremacies and above could be called experts. The closer to the center of the chaotic continent, the more experts there were. This was because the area near the center was where the disciples of the high-level and pinnacle races were active. In the entire chaotic continent, the major races occupied the majority. There was a small portion occupied by some dire beasts and giant galactic beasts. And some intelligent and powerful plants occupied the mountains and rivers. Don't underestimate them. The most famous place in the chaotic continent was the classic of mountains and seas. That was the paradise of the dire beasts and giant galactic beasts. The strength of the dire beasts and giant galactic beasts there was comparable to the strength of a pinnacle race. Even the experts of the pinnacle races had to be careful when they stepped into that place. Some strange dire beasts and giant galactic beasts might make one unable to escape even if one wanted to. Wang Xian floated in the void, his eyes glimmering as he scanned the surroundings. A map of the great desolate continent appeared in his mind. At the border, there were many intermediate and high-level races. There were more than 100 of them. Of course, this was only the races that were closer to Wang Xian. The closer they were to the edge, the weaker the races were. He flew straight in. Divine grass and trees could be seen everywhere. The plants at the divine realm were completely ordinary. With a single glance, he could see quite a few God-King level plants. It could be said that if a divine king level existence was thrown into the chaotic continent, as long as he could survive, it would be a piece of cake for him to reach the divine emperor level. But it was extremely difficult for the weak to survive here. Unless they had their own race as a backer. Wang Xian flew at a height of 1,000,000 meters in the chaotic continent. This height was usually at the top of the trees and the waist of some small mountains. Any higher and he might be attacked by some dire beast. The Yin-Yang 5 Elements dragon eyes scanned the surroundings curiously. The spiritual energy there is so dense. Is there a paradise or treasure? After flying for half an hour, Wang Xian suddenly sensed dense spiritual energy coming from a direction. He hesitated for a moment before flying over to take a look. At the edge, there weren't many creatures that could threaten him. Soon, a river appeared in his sight. The river was very strange. It was at least 1 billion kilometers long and tens of millions of kilometers wide. This kind of river could only be called a small river in the great desolate continent. At this moment, there were many fish with wings in the river. There were many fish and they emitted powerful auras and might. This river is so strange. It feels like it has a life of its own. Wang Xian looked over curiously. He scanned the river and the fish in it before flying over immediately. Before he could get close, the entire river suddenly changed. The river, which was originally flowing on the ground, was at least a few million kilometers deep, but now, it directly sank into the ground. The winged fishes inside had all disappeared. It was like an illusion. This river should have a life of its own. My approach should have made it feel threatened, so it immediately fled. Wang Xian scanned the river with his Yin-Yang 5 Elements dragon eyes, but he couldn't find any trace of the fish in the river. How mysterious! Perhaps this ability prevented them from being caught by other experts. He murmured, With a move, he continued flying inside. This time, his main goal was the Lich Kingdom. His secondary goal was to tour the great desolate continent. Wang Xian sped up a little and flew past the towering peaks that pierced the clouds. The Lich Kingdom was a little far away. If he were to fly there, he would need at least 2 days. In the middle of the journey, he had seen some of the sights of the great desolate continent. Incomparably mystical creatures, strange attacks that were impossible to defend against. In fact, Wang Xian was attacked twice during the 2 days he was flying. The guy who attacked him the second time didn't succeed and even escaped successfully. This made Wang Xian extremely surprised. "I'm here. The territory of the Lich Kingdom is just ahead." 2 days later, Wang Xian looked ahead according to the information he had obtained. The Lich Kingdom was the territory of the Lich race. Within the Lich Kingdom, there was a blessed land called the Demon Refining Island. Inside the blessed enclave, the monstrous beasts could quickly recover from any injuries sustained on the island. That was the sacred land of the Lich race. It was also a natural blessed land in the great desolate continent. The mysterious great desolate continent had given birth to a large number of blessed lands. These blessed lands possessed all kinds of abilities. Some grotto heavens and blessed lands could even release powerful defensive abilities to protect the living beings within them. The Demon Refining Island was the reliance of the Lich Kingdom. It was also one of the reasons why the Lich race was so powerful. Other than the blessed lands of the Lich Kingdom, there were many liches, demonic beasts, and dire beasts living in the entire territory. There were 12 main cities of the Lich Kingdom. There were hundreds of millions of liches in the entire Lich Kingdom. These hundreds of millions of liches weren't something that the ordinary people of the forces surrounding the continent could compare to. The environment of the great desolate continent was extremely cruel. If the Orthodox god races were to launch a land invasion and were to succeed, the trillions of people of the Orthodox god races would be reduced to a few 100 million in tens of millions of years. It was extremely cruel. However, those who remained were the most elite and the most powerful existences. As for the reason, it might be related to some special secrets. There are 12 main cities of the Lich Kingdom. Each main city has more than 10 million people and there are rank 8 universe supremacies in charge. Next, I'll start with these main cities. The resources of the Dragon Palace aren't that easy to snatch. Wang Xian's eyes flickered with coldness. He landed on the ground. Dragon scales gradually covered his face and a pair of dragon horns appeared. His entire person had undergone a drastic change. He took out the universe AI to determine his location. After which, he walked towards one of the main cities of the Lich Kingdom. The Scorpion Emperor City was one of the 12 main cities of the Lich Kingdom. The entire main city was considered a mid-tier main city in the Lich Kingdom. Wang Xian walked on the ground. As this was the territory of the Lich Kingdom, there weren't many dire beasts. There were even fewer creatures that hunted in the dark. As Wang Xian continued walking forward, he noticed layers of poisonous barriers ahead of him. Poison was a common means of attack for the sorcerers. Chapter 3301. Due to unknown reasons, Sogu is unable to find this website today. Dear readers, please remember this website's domain name, Book Ocean Pavilion, and find your way home. Scorpion Emperor City was a city shrouded in poisonous fog. In this city, without antidotes or antidotes, even a void First-Order God Emperor expert would not be able to survive here. The entire Scorpion Emperor City was filled with corrosive energy. TSK, some places in the chaotic continent are indeed mystical. Wang Xian mumbled to himself. This place was not suitable for ordinary living beings. Even ordinary members of the Dragon Palace would have their combat power reduced if they came here. According to the universe artificial intelligence, every city in the Lich country is built on a small-scale blessed land. Are the blessed land here related to poison? He mumbled to himself as he continued flying forward. Half an hour later, he found signs of living beings in the surroundings. Suddenly, he felt a thread of blood extending towards him. This caused him to squint his eyes and continue walking forward. Catch him! When the bloodlines reached Wang Xian's feet, 3 voices suddenly sounded. He could sense 3 figures covered in blood and poisonous fog attacking him. At the same time, the crimson lines beneath him rose and formed a poisonous web that enshrouded Wang Xian completely. Ambush? Wang Xian squinted his eyes as he looked over. Of the 3 liches, one had a human head and a lizard-like body. His body had completely blended in with his surroundings. One had a pair of wings, and on his head, there were dozens of densely packed eyes. The last one was like a giant python with a body length of 10,000 meters. He charged towards Wang Xian. Wang Xian stared at the creature that was charging at him with a cold look in his eyes. Not good. When they charged towards Wang Xian, they sensed Wang Xian's calmness and the energy ripples from his body. The lich with dozens of pairs of eyes had a change in expression as he growled. Courting death. Wang Xian was shocked when he saw his strong alertness. He waved his arm and restrained the lich with the energy of the 5 elements. Sir, spare me, spare me. When the 3 liches who had been subdued saw this scene, their expressions changed drastically, and they begged for mercy in horror. Soul assimilation. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes and the 3 liches trembled. Waves of information flowed into his mind. As he absorbed the information, his eyes sparkled. This heaven-splitting desolate continent is even crueler than the outside world. 10 minutes later, he slowly opened his eyes and murmured. According to his understanding, these 3 fellows wanted to ambush and kill him. The reason was that the lich with the human head wanted his own head. It was that simple. He wanted his head. In the Lich Kingdom, the lich race had 2 methods of cultivation. One was to walk the path of pure witchcraft, in terms of spells. But the liches were of a different kind. They hunted down powerful creatures and transferred the creature's head, wings, tail, eyes, and some other things to themselves. Through this method, he could strengthen himself. This was another way for witchcraft to become stronger, and also the second path for wizards. This path was as powerful as pure witchcraft. However, to reach the level of the ancestor of witchcraft, one's physical body and witchcraft had to reach a terrifying level. How dare they want my head? Wang Xian shook his head. They had realized that their heads were a little special and wanted to transfer them. From their memories, Wang Xian also understood another point. It was extremely dangerous in the wilderness of the chaotic continent when the heavens were opened. Even the disciples and experts in the Lich Kingdom would kill and plunder each other. As long as they became stronger, they would be able to obtain more resources and better places for cultivation. Within the Scorpion Emperor city, there was indeed a blessed place where one could cultivate a powerful poison body. However, to enter that place to cultivate, one would need to pay a huge amount of resources. Wang Xian had gained some understanding of the information within the Scorpion Emperor city. He moved his body and continued to fly forward. Not long after, the huge city within the poisonous fog appeared in his sight. The entire city was huge, with a mountain as the city wall. From afar, it looked mysterious and creepy. The surrounding poisonous mist had all spilled out from this place. Wang Xian squinted his eyes and continued to fly in. The Scorpion Emperor city was an open city. Outsiders could also enter. Of course, if a large number of strangers entered, they would also be monitored. When Wang Xian entered alone, he did not attract much attention. Upon entering the Scorpion Emperor city, Wang Xian saw a large number of citizens of the Lich Kingdom. Each and every one of them was a powerful lich. The entire Scorpion Emperor city was like a zoo of mutants. There were various kinds of lich that were put together and exuded a variety of creepy and evil aura. Most of them were mainly dark and poisonous. As Wang Xian flew above the city, he could smell the thick stench of blood. No wonder lich is called evil, mysterious, creepy, and powerful. Some of the lich in the Scorpion Emperor city are indeed creepy and evil. Wang Xian murmured, because his cultivation method was destined to be brutal and evil. Swoosh. After flying for half an hour, he began to speed up. The entire Scorpion Emperor city was filled with oddly shaped buildings. Some residences were like nests. Others were like strange wormholes. There were very few buildings like this. Let's go to the center of the Scorpion Emperor city and take a look at the grotto heaven and then destroy this place. Wang Xian's eyes revealed a sinister look. This time, he was here to destroy the Lich Kingdom. He would kill as many as he could. Wang Xian did not show any mercy to these oddly shaped mutants and the group of Lich demons. They were pursuing the law of the jungle. In that case, they would perish in the jungle. Near the center of the Scorpion Emperor city, an incomparably huge ball stood there. The diameter of the ball was hundreds of millions of kilometers. On the ball, there were holes of various sizes. From time to time, experts would enter and exit these holes. This is the poison lair of the Scorpion Emperor city, a grotto heaven that is connected to the chaotic continent. All the poison barriers are leaking out from here. Wang Xian murmured. With a move, the yin-yang dragon coil appeared around him. Yin and yang rotated and his figure gradually disappeared. Wang Xian made a move and flew inside. Just as he arrived in front of a cave, a corrosive force suddenly attacked him. When Wang Xian saw this, he was slightly shocked. He had used the yin-yang dragon coil to conceal himself, but he was still discovered. Chapter 3302, Scorpion Emperor City. On unknown creatures have invaded the Scorpion Emperor Grotto Heaven. Who dares to barge into the Scorpion Emperor Grotto Heaven with a death wish? The corrosive energy prevented Wang Xian from entering the Grotto Heaven. Following which, figures flew out from the Grotto Heaven one after another. They carried powerful poisonous gases with them and charged towards Wang Xian like they were solid poison gases. Since I can't go in and check it out, I'll just kill my way in. Wang Xian's eyes were filled with murderous intent. He wasn't here to play today. He was here to destroy the Scorpion Emperor City and attack the Lich Kingdom. Since he had been discovered, there was no need to hide. Moreover, based on what he knew, the Lich Kingdom had 12 main cities and each main city had a rank 8 venerable Lich city lord. Wang Xian was confident that he could kill a rank 8 venerable Lich within 10 seconds. Boom! His body shook, and a terrifying aura spread out in all directions. With a move of his body, he barged into the Scorpion King's cave. Bam! The defense of the Grotto Heaven was broken by him. As soon as he entered, he saw thousands of Liches attacking him. Every Lich had a combat power no lower than a Universe Venerable rank 5. As long as there are more Liches in the Lich Kingdom, we can make up for the losses of the upright god races. Wang Xian laughed and waved his arm, turning it into a dragon claw. The dragon claw tore forward. The dragon claw contained a terrifying aura that made the thousands of Liches who were charging towards him change their expressions. Oh no, the invaders are too strong. Among the thousands of Liches, there were Liches with strong senses and keen perception of danger. The instant Wang Xian struck, some of the Liches fled to the back. Can you escape? Die all of you! Wang Xian's eyes were filled with murderous intent. He waved his dragon claw and attacked them. You can't escape. One of the Liches shouted coldly with bloodshot eyes. Buzz, 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 buzz. In an instant, all kinds of attacks covered Wang Xian. Some of the Liches had densely packed eyeballs and each eyeball was emitting a blood-red glow. Some of the Liches had their chests split open and large amounts of poisonous gas rushed forward. All kinds of strange attacks were launched. Vanish! However, their strength was still not enough to deal with Wang Xian. The strongest level 7 universe supremacy, the Lich Demon, couldn't even withstand a single blow from Wang Xian. Bam bam bam. Ayo ayo, fight, fight, there's a strong enemy invading. Miserable cries and collisions were heard. In an instant, close to 1,000 Liches were killed by Wang Xian. However, there were still a few Liches who managed to dodge the fatal blow and roared at the people below. At the bottom of the spherical Scorpion King heavenly abode was a poison pool. The entire poison pool was emitting black and green light. Many figures were hidden in the light. Not good, it's a rank 8 universe venerable, our Scorpion Claw City Lord isn't here. A Lich with a huge vertical eye said solemnly with a serious expression. Immediately informed the City Lord to use the Grotto Heaven to protect the enemy. Next to him was a slender woman with a beautiful head. However, there were countless venomous snakes coiling around her head. The strangest thing was that the lich who spoke only had a strange and bewitching head. There was no other body. Kill. He spat out a chilling murderous intent as his body shook. Kill. How dare you invade our Scorpion King country, die. Sky-piercing miasma rise. A few liches roared. The aura they exuded was at rank 7 universe supremacies. Swoosh. In the poison pool below them, a green scorpion flew out. Whoever dares to invade our Scorpion King heavenly abode, die. A dense voice that seemed to be overlapping with countless voices came from within the scorpion's body. The scorpion was 1,000 meters long and cracks appeared in the void around it. It stared at Wang Xian in the sky and dashed over instantly. The surrounding 5 liches exchanged glances and followed the scorpion. This scorpion doesn't seem to be an expert known to the liches country. No, this creature is a little special. Wang Xian squinted his eyes and stared at the scorpion that was attacking him. The green scorpion with black spots gave off a terrifying aura. The strangest thing was that there were thousands of faces on the scorpion's head. Every face was hideous as they stared at Wang Xian with bloodthirsty eyes. It said that every power that enters the great desolate continent will be able to occupy a blessed land. Each blessed land has a different effect. This scorpion must be a guardian monster created by the liches country using a special method. This monster can't leave the Scorpion King heavenly abode, but it can still unleash terrifying strength. Wang Xian squinted his eyes. The chaotic continent was the first continent in the universe and also the most central existence. It had nurtured countless races and naturally had many mystical places. At this time, the faces on the scorpions had opened their mouths and poisonous threads attacked Wang Xian instantly. Wang Xian focused his eyes and waved his arm. A wave of 5 elements annihilation shrouded the poisonous threads. However, to his surprise, the poisonous threads penetrated his annihilation force instantly. This isn't an ordinary rank 8 universe supremacy, Wang Xian murmured. In the next moment, the 5 elements grindstone appeared around him with the yin-yang dragon coiling around him. Wang Xian's eyes were filled with malice as he attacked the poisonous scorpion. Bam! His arm turned into a dragon claw and clawed at the poisonous scorpion. As for the poisonous scorpion, it extended its claws that were dripping with dark green venom towards Wang Xian's dragon claw. Bam! A sound of collision was heard. Wang Xian felt the dragon claw stiffen slightly as various toxins entered his body. The yin-yang dragon coiled around and expelled the toxins immediately. Bam! In the sky above, a grayish shadow of a divine dragon swooped down from the 5 elements grindstone. Around the shadow of the divine dragon, there was a sun, coffin, pagoda, ice sword, fire blade, and rope. Boom! The terrifying attack from the 5 elements grindstone landed on the poisonous scorpion. The poisonous scorpion screamed in pain. More than half of the faces on the poisonous scorpion's head cracked and corroded rapidly. It looked extremely bloody. Dragon eyes lock. Wang Xian let out a cold snort and the chains wrapped around it. The opponent is strong. Below, the group of rank 7 universe supremacies from Scorpion Imperial City saw this scene. Their eyes narrowed as they roared. Chapter 3303 Scorpion Emperor City in Rumble, Rumble, Rumble. The group of rank 7 supremacies roared as they launched a series of terrifying attacks towards the blood-red chains. At the same time, the entire Scorpion Emperor cave erupted with a terrifying aura. Wisps of green poisonous fog rushed out of the holes and into the sky. The poisonous fog was like a beacon. Someone is invading our city god cave. Everyone in Scorpion Emperor City, prepare for battle. Prepare for battle. Kill the invaders. Kill, kill, kill. In an instant, figures soared into the sky from Scorpion Emperor City and flew towards the Scorpion Emperor Cave. More than 10 million people in the entire city all rushed over in unison. The terrifying energy soared into the sky in an instant. Against the invaders, everyone in Scorpion Emperor City was united. At the same time, within the Scorpion Emperor Cave, Wang Xian snorted. In the entire Scorpion Emperor Cave, no living creature could pose any threat to him. Not even the poisonous scorpion. The chains wrapped around the poisonous scorpion. The attacks from the surrounding rank 7 supremacies did not cause much damage when they landed on the chains. Wang Xian's dragon claws reached for the poisonous scorpion again. No. Run. The densely packed faces on the poisonous scorpion's head were horrified when they saw Wang Xian's terrifying attack. They let out blood-curdling screams, shaking their bodies as they tried to escape downwards. However, in front of Wang Xian, the rank 8 supremacies could not put up much resistance. The dragon claws grabbed the poisonous scorpion, and waves of energy surged into its body. Oh no, our city lord isn't here. We are no match for him. Run. When the group of rank 7 venerable liches below saw this, their pupils constricted. They knew that they were no match for him. At this time, they could only run. Do you think you can escape? Wang Xian waved his dragon claws, and the hideous faces on the poisonous scorpion collapsed. He kept the poisonous scorpion, flapped his unbeginning saint wings, and charged towards them. How terrifying was Wang Xian's speed! It was comparable to a rank 9 supremacy. Among them, even those who specialized in speed were far from Wang Xian's. No, don't kill me. All disciples, flee. Flee. The level 7 universe supremacies were in despair when they sensed Wang Xian's speed. Some liches begged for mercy, some liches warned the disciples in Scorpion Emperor City. Piu. However, all of them were easily killed by Wang Xian. Not good, the lords in the Scorpion King's abode are no match for the intruders, let us escape. From all directions, the disciples of Scorpion Emperor City who were flying over heard the commotion, and their expressions changed drastically. Many of the experts stopped in their tracks. In the next moment, a terrifying roar was heard. Wang Xian flew out of the Scorpion King's cave and transformed into his divine dragon form. Now, his body had reached 100,000 meters tall. His terrifying body was like a mountain range, containing a terrifying might and aura. He swayed his dragon body and swept his dragon tail in all directions. A grayish energy spread out in all directions at a terrifying speed. Not good, the opponent's strength is terrifying. Let's escape. The liches in Scorpion Emperor City felt the aura from Wang Xian and roared in fear. Boom. However, the terrifying destructive force had already killed millions of liches instantly. Their corpses fell to the ground. Damn it, what kind of expert did our Scorpion Emperor City offend? How could he be so terrifying? Some liches in Scorpion Emperor City sensed this scene, widened their eyes, and fled for their lives. True dragon body, Inferno Divine Dragon. Wang Xian let out a low roar, and his entire body turned into a body of flames. Terrifying flames spewed out in all directions. The terrifying flames caused all the surrounding liches to be filled with shock. Trying to escape? I'm going to annihilate the city today. Wang Xian's eyes were filled with murderous intent. With a thought, the 5 elements grindstone flew to the back. He flew forward. The 5 elements grindstone expanded rapidly to a radius of hundreds of millions of kilometers. The various acquired spiritual treasures and acquired supreme treasures that had been absorbed attacked the liches one by one. Run. Hide in your universe god kingdom. Run. Scorpion Emperor City had no resistance against Wang Xian's rampage. Wang Xian swayed his huge body, and the flames attacked in all directions. In the surroundings, the mountains collapsed, and the buildings burst into flames. Half of Scorpion Emperor City was in a sea of fire. Coupled with Wang Xian's terrifying speed, a large number of liches were killed by him. Only a few were able to escape. The entire Scorpion Emperor City was being slaughtered by him. At the same time, in the main city of the liches country, Liches City. Liches City stood on the body of a skeleton. The entire skeleton was embedded in the ground, and the size of this skeleton was abnormally terrifying. It was rumored that at the beginning of the universe, living beings were born in the chaotic continent. When living beings were just born, they suffered from the calamity of heaven and earth and died in it. Then, it fused with the great desolate continent, forming a special paradise. Within the head of this huge skeleton, hundreds of liches stood excitedly. In the middle of them, a large number of treasures were piled up. Even the experts of the liches country were tempted by these treasures. Haha, our liches country has a great harvest this time. Every city will get a share of resources. The Lich King laughed heartily as he stood in the middle of the large number of treasures. Lich King, the harvest this time is equivalent to our harvest for hundreds of millions of years. Tsk, you are indeed the strongest force in the continental encirclement starry sky. Your accumulation is rich. The Dragon Palace still wants to compete with us. At most, they have a rank 8 universe venerable. How dare they fight with us? They are simply courting death. That's right. Even if we offend the Dragon Palace this time, these treasures are worth it. In the surrounding area, the rank 8 liches laughed heartily. This time, the liches country's harvest was simply too great. Most importantly, these harvests were easy for them and they didn't have to pay any price. As for offending the Dragon Palace, they didn't take it to heart. Their strength was more than 10 times that of the Dragon Palace. If it weren't for the rules of the chaotic continent, they would have killed the Dragon King if he dared to be arrogant in front of them. Chapter 3304, Scorpion Emperor City Next, HM? At this moment, a lich with a long poisonous scorpion tail and 2 huge pincers on his body suddenly froze. He immediately took out the universe AI, and when he saw the information, his expression changed. He waved his arm, and a 100-meter city model appeared before him. Within the city model, there were large amounts of spirit tablets. When he saw that 90% of the tablets were broken, his pupils constricted. What's going on? What happened to Scorpion Emperor City? Beside him, a lich saw the situation within the city model, and his expression changed as he asked, "Who?" The lich with the scorpion tail breathed heavily, his expression changing drastically. No idea. Scorpion Emperor City was attacked, all the universe venerables were killed, 80% of the remaining disciples were killed. Roar, damn it. The Scorpion Emperor City Lord roared with rage. Their Lich Kingdom had 12 main cities, and each main city represented a blessed grotto heaven. It was equivalent to 1/12 of their Lich Kingdom strength. And now it was destroyed, directly losing a large amount of strength. How can this be? Scorpion Emperor City had the 1,000-faced scorpion. How could it be so easily destroyed? Could it be a universe venerable? An 8th order venerable lich roared in a low voice with a grave expression on his face. Scorpion Emperor City was destroyed? In the middle, the Lich King looked over coldly. Yes, Lich King, our Scorpion Emperor City was destroyed. Only a few disciples escaped, and are now rushing over. The Scorpion Emperor City Lord replied with a dark expression. Damn it, who did it? Who dared to destroy our Scorpion Emperor City? The Lich King's face was filled with rage. Reporting to Lich King, a disciple from Scorpion Emperor City is urgently seeking an audience. At this moment, a Lich came in from outside and bowed. Let him in immediately. The Lich King replied, Lich King, City Lord, our Scorpion Emperor City was destroyed, countless of our experts and disciples were killed, you must avenge us. A Lich walked over with a sorrowful expression, kneeling in front. Who did it? Scorpion Emperor City Lord's body trembled as he flew over and stared at him. I didn't know either. It was a divine dragon. The Lich trembled and shook his head. He waved his arm and an image appeared before them. In the scene, a divine dragon swept its tail, and the terrifying energy instantly killed millions of Scorpion Imperial City's disciples. Dragon God. When the experts of the Lich Kingdom saw this, their faces darkened. Currently, the only powerful divine dragons are the Ancestral Dragon, the Light Divine Dragon, and the Dragon Palace. A Lich expert looked over and said in a deep voice, a purebred divine dragon with a pair of wings. This is the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace, the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace. I've seen this information on the AI. At this moment, a Lich expert roared in a low voice, Dragon King of Dragon Palace? He must have eaten a bear's heart and a leopard's gall to dare attack our Lich Kingdom. A Lich expert's expression changed when he heard this, and he roared harshly. Just a moment ago, they were still saying that the Dragon Palace was just SOSO and did not take it seriously at all. In the end, they found out that the other party had destroyed their Scorpion Imperial City. A slap in the face. This was a blatant slap in the face. It's indeed the Dragon King. Damn it, let's head over immediately and destroy the Dragon King. The Lich expert confirmed, his gaze sweeping across the crowd as he roared with killing intent. Dragon Palace, they're courting death. If it's really the Dragon King, I'll destroy the Dragon Palace. The Lich King roared with a savage expression. The loss of a main city was a huge blow to the Lich Kingdom. Within Scorpion Imperial City, there was a Universe Level 8 Venerable under him. There were over a dozen Universe Level 7 Venerables and over a dozen Universe Level 6 Venerables. If all of them were killed by the Dragon King, then their gains this time might not be as great as their losses. After all, to nurture a Universe Level 8 Venerable, not only did they need resources, they also needed opportunities. The teleportation formation towards Scorpion Imperial City and the Scorpion Imperial Grotto Heaven have been destroyed. We can only rush over from Enmity Spirit City. Very quickly, an expert of the Lich Kingdom reported to the Lich King with a dark expression. Upon hearing the news, they were all infuriated. Come, let's head over. The Lich King exuded a strong murderous aura as he flew towards the teleportation formation. The destruction of a main city was a huge loss to the Lich Kingdom. At the same time, as the experts of the Lich Kingdom were rushing over, Wang Xian was still within the Scorpion Imperial Grotto Heaven. After he killed all the experts in the city, the rest of the Liches killed very quickly. In just a few minutes, he had destroyed more than half of the city. After sensing that there were no more Liches in the city, he stopped his destruction and came to the Grotto Heaven. Hovering above the poison pool, Wang Xian sized it up curiously. This was the first time he had seen such a peculiar Grotto Heaven. The poison in the poison pool is enough to kill a Universe Level 8 Venerable. I'll keep it and let the Orochi make it into an offensive weapon. Wang Xian murmured. With a wave of his arm, a large amount of poison entered the mother nest and was kept by him. The amount of poison in the poison pool was not too much or too little, about tens of thousands of tons. After he collected all the venom, there was a black stone inside. These black stones were densely packed with small holes, and the venom was seeping out from these small holes. It's a pity that most of the Grotto Heaven in the Chaotic Continent can't be taken away. They are connected to the continent. I can take away the poison, but I can't take away this treasure land. Wang Xian shook his head. I can't stay here any longer. I have to leave. Looking at the time, he did not dare to stay here for too long. If all the experts of the Lich Kingdom rushed over, Wang Xian would not be their match. After destroying one city, I can prepare to destroy the next one. TSK, unless there are 3 or 4 Universe Level 8 Venerables guarding each city, I can destroy it. Wang Xian's eyes were cold as he flew out of the Scorpion Imperial Grotto Heaven. He looked at the surrounding map and flew in a direction. He did not go to the nearest city because he had destroyed the teleportation formation of the city. If the experts of the Lich Kingdom wanted to rush over, they would be teleported to the nearest city. Moreover, Wang Xian was not in a hurry. After destroying a city, he could take a stroll around the continent. Sightseeing in the Chaotic Continent. Chapter 3305, So. Not long after Wang Xian flew out of the Scorpion Emperor City, a large number of figures flew over without any scruples. Damn Dragon King! In the distance, they saw more than half of Scorpion Emperor City in a sea of flames. Their eyes were blood-red and filled with violence. The Scorpion Emperor City Lord's figure flickered and arrived in the sky above Scorpion Emperor City. His face was incomparably gloomy as he scanned the area below. A sea of flames covered Scorpion Emperor City. Other than the flames, there was only the presence of blood. There weren't any corpses of his subordinates. The entire Scorpion Emperor City had turned into a wasteland. Under his senses, of the more than 10 million disciples in Scorpion Emperor City, more than 90% had died. This was not a small loss for the Lich Kingdom. Let's go to the Grotto Heaven. The Lich King flew towards the Scorpion King's cave with a gloomy face. When they entered the Scorpion King Grotto Heaven, there were no living creatures inside. Other than the Scorpion Emperor's Grotto Heaven, there was nothing left. The Scorpion Emperor's cave is guarded by the thousand-faced poisonous scorpion. The thousand-faced poisonous scorpion is not weak, but it was still killed by the Dragon King. The Dragon King is very strong. An expert from the Lich Kingdom looked around with a gloomy expression and said in a deep voice, "The Dragon King of the Dragon Palace is a purebred divine dragon. They have annihilated a few other divine dragon lineages and possess quite a number of postnatal cardinal treasures. Their strength is not to be underestimated. I didn't expect the Dragon King to be so cunning. Previously, he didn't dare to make a move because of our numbers. Now, he actually dares to launch a sneak attack on our Lich country." A thin and small Lich wearing a bamboo hat, who looked like an old man, said as he stretched out his black bone-like arm and waved it in front of him. Wang Xian's image appeared in the void before him. On the screen, Wang Xian was killing the thousand-faced poisonous scorpion. As a powerful sorcerer clan, it was a piece of cake for the Lich clan to investigate the situation here. Moreover, given Wang Xian's current strength and the current strength of the Sky Formation, they would not be able to stop the experts from the sorcerer country from investigating. Therefore, Wang Xian was not disturbed at all. So what if they found out that he did it? This Dragon King is quite powerful. The 11 Liches narrowed their eyes, their faces filled with solemn expressions. Many of the Liches present admitted that they couldn't kill the thousand-faced poisonous scorpion so quickly. No matter what, the Dragon Palace's Dragon King dared to attack our Lich Kingdom. That is equivalent to declaring war on our Lich Kingdom. The Lich King stared at them coldly. His eyes were filled with malice. If the Dragon Palace wants to start a war, we, the Lich Kingdom, don't have any scruples. Destroy the Dragon Palace. He roared out the last 4 words. Destroy the Dragon Palace. If the leader of the forces surrounding the continent destroyed a city of the Lich Kingdom, the Lich Kingdom could naturally take revenge and declare war. Your Lich King, the Dragon King, is very powerful. It is very likely that he is heading to our other cities. We must be prepared. A Lich City Lord said and frowned. If we go to destroy the Dragon Palace, we won't be able to do anything if the Dragon King continues to attack our main city. We must take revenge for destroying our Scorpion Emperor city. The Scorpion Emperor city Lord bellowed with murderous intent. I have an idea. Half of the experts will attack the Dragon Palace while the other half will stay behind to guard the Lich Kingdom. Seal all the main cities and be on high alert. Once a main city is under attack, inform us immediately. We will send reinforcements to destroy the Dragon Palace. Alright. The Lich King pondered for a moment before nodding his head heavily. As long as they were on high alert, it would only take them a few seconds to send reinforcements through the teleportation formation. The Dragon King was alone. It wouldn't be difficult for them to deal with him. Half of the experts in the Lich Kingdom could fend off the Dragon King. As for the other half, they would head to the continent to attack the Dragon Palace. Let's go back and discuss this further. The Lich King ordered. The group of experts immediately flew back to the main city behind. Just as the Lich Kingdom was discussing everything, Wang Xian was already far away from the Scorpion Emperor city. He used the 8 Brilliance Dragon Scale to change his aura easily to prevent himself from being chased. I can't fly any deeper. The strongest expert at the border of the Chaotic Continent is a rank 8 Universe Supremacy. There will be even stronger experts in the deeper parts. Moreover, the region I'm in now seems to be the territory of another powerful force. Wang Xian mumbled to himself as he looked at the map on the AI. It would be more dangerous in the deeper parts. Wang Xian wasn't prepared to take the risk. At the edge of the great desolate continent, the Lich Kingdom's strength could be ranked in the top 3. The territory he was currently in was the territory of an extremely powerful faction. I'll wander around for 5 to 6 days before heading to the next city. Wang Xian planned in his heart as he flew towards the right. Currently, he was flying in human form. In his human form, his entire person seemed abnormally small in this great desolate continent that had opened up the heavens. Sometimes, Even an ordinary bug was much bigger than him. Buzz, buzz, buzz. After flying for 3 days in the chaotic continent, he suddenly felt a strong energy wave coming from his front left. Sensing this energy fluctuation, a surprised look appeared on his face. This energy wave felt like a spiritual treasure. He squinted his eyes and flew towards that direction quickly. Dragon Eye. As he got closer, he sensed the aura and his dragon eyes flickered. The scene in front of him appeared in his sight. A khaki-colored shield rose from the ground slowly. The entire shield looked ancient and had the markings of heaven and earth on it. This is? A spiritual treasure has been unearthed? Wang Xian was shocked. There were many acquired spiritual treasures in the chaotic continent. Especially acquired spiritual treasures. If one was lucky, he could pick them up in the chaotic continent. Even acquired spiritual treasures could be picked up, just that the chances were lower. The unearthed spiritual treasure was an opportunity for any living being. If one could get the spiritual treasure, it would belong to them. The shield before him contained a strong aura and was definitely not an acquired spiritual treasure. It was an acquired treasure. I didn't expect to encounter an acquired treasure. My luck is pretty good. Wang Xian squinted his eyes. An acquired treasure was a powerful treasure even for an expert of his level. I'm not the only one. There are many people around. Wang Xian looked around. In his vision, there were 3 groups of people surrounding the khaki-colored shield. A khaki-colored giant python demonic beast with khaki-colored horns was looking around coldly. One was wrapped in white cloth and looked like a mummy. There were also dozens of experts from the Lich Kingdom. Chapter 3306, Wrapped Corpse Tribe. I didn't expect an acquired cardinal treasure to attract so many experts. 3 rank 7 universe venerables. Wang Xian stared ahead. In his line of sight, each of the 3 forces had a level 7 universe venerable holding the fort. There were also some experts lying in wait, but they didn't dare to rush over directly. A postnatal treasure is also a pretty good treasure. Wang Xian squinted his eyes. In the center of the battlefield, the strength of the 3 forces was not too far apart. They glanced at each other vigilantly, in case the other parties suddenly attacked. With the balance between the 3 forces, no one dared to take the initiative to snatch it. Swish. At this time, Wang Xian's figure flickered and appeared beside the acquired cardinal treasure. With a wave of his arm, a wave of energy shrouded it. Oh no, someone is trying to snatch it. Attack! Wang Xian's sudden appearance changed the situation of the 3 forces. They immediately launched their attacks towards him. Wang Xian ignored their attacks. The Tai Chi dragon plate revolved around him and easily blocked their attacks. He stretched out his palm and grabbed the acquired cardinal treasure, the Earth Attribute Shield. The opponent is strong. Rank 8 Universe Venerables. When the experts of the 3 forces saw that their attacks had been easily blocked, their faces changed. A rank 8 Universe Venerables was almost invincible in this region. Wang Xian moved his arm and kept the acquired cardinal treasure in his hand. This is indeed the chaotic continent. It's so easy to obtain an acquired cardinal treasure. He murmured with a smile on his face. In the next moment, he looked around and fixed his eyes on the experts from the sorcerer country. Sensing Wang Xian's unfriendly gaze, the sorcerers from the sorcerer country fled without any hesitation. Swoosh! Behind Wang Xian, the unbeginning saint wings flapped and flashed past them at a terrifying speed. No, who are you? We are from the sorcerer country. Are you going to make an enemy out of the sorcerer country? The leading rank 7 universe venerables from the sorcerer country shouted angrily when he saw Wang Xian charging towards them. Wang Xian ignored their shouts and killed a dozen sorcerer country experts. Go! When the horned python saw this, it swayed its huge body and instantly fled into the distance. For you, senior? This treasure was unearthed from our Wrapped Corpse tribe's territory. The mummy-like expert from the Wrapped Corpse tribe, who was wrapped in white cloth, asked coldly when he saw Wang Xian obtaining the postnatal cardinal treasure and killing the group of experts from the shaman country. It was as though a corpse was speaking. Acquired treasures belong to those who are capable. said Wang Xian plainly as he looked at them. He naturally knew about the wrapped corpse race. It was also one of the top powers at the edge of the desolate continent. Its strength was not weaker than the shaman nation. The wrapped corpse race's cultivation method was very special. Their body shape was similar to humans, but not like humans. The post-celestial treasure in our domain should belong to us, the wrapped corpse tribe. Please return it to us, sir. The leader of the wrapped corpse tribe, who was completely wrapped in white cloth, continued to speak in a cold voice. When Wang Xian heard him, he squinted his eyes and scanned the crowd. You guys can try and see if you can take it away. The people of the wrapped corpse clan were slightly silent. Their faces and eyes could not be seen clearly. No one knew what they were thinking about at this moment. Wang Xian hesitated for a moment and did not make a move. Instead, he turned and flew out. Swish, swish, swish. Just as he was about to fly out, strips of blood-stained white cloth swept towards him. Seeing the horrifying power of the white cloth, he narrowed his eyes. The other party was deliberately stalling for time. The experts from the wrapped corpse tribe had arrived. At the next moment, Wang Xian could only feel the surrounding scenery changing. The surroundings were wrapped by countless white cloths, forming a special space. In this space, there were 3 experts from the wrapped corpse tribe. They hovered in a triangle around Wang Xian and locked onto him. Take out the post-celestial treasure of our wrapped corpse tribe. Otherwise, you will become nourishment for our wrapped corpse cloth. The expert from the wrapped corpse race said coldly in the front. Their voices were incomparably cold, without the slightest emotion. Wang Xian felt uncomfortable listening to their voices. As he could not see the faces of the members of the wrapped corpse tribe clearly, he did not realize that they were stalling for time on purpose. However, Wang Xian was not bothered by the 3 experts from the wrapped corpse tribe who had the combat strength of a rank 8 universe venerable. He moved his palm and the 5 elements grindstone appeared in his hand. He looked at the 3 experts from the wrapped corpse tribe and said, "You guys can't stop me. If you want to fight, you will be courting death." Wang Xian did not want to have a conflict with the experts from the wrapped corpse tribe. Now that he had yet to settle the matter of the witch country, he did not want to offend such a powerful force. However, it was impossible for him to hand over the post-celestial treasure. Treasures belonged to those who were capable. Swish, swish, swish. As soon as he finished his sentence, the wrapped corpse cloth attacked him. The wrapped corpse cloth swept towards Wang Xian with sharpness and mysteriousness. Wind attribute and dark attribute. Wang Xian was slightly shocked when he felt the energy from the wrapped corpse cloth. The wrapped corpse tribe controlled 2 attributes. Get lost. Wang Xian growled. The 5 elements grindstone released the destructive aura of the 5 elements and attacked the wrapped corpse cloth. In that instant of collision, the wrapped corpse cloth seemed to have been contaminated by the energy of the 5 elements grindstone and turned a little gray. When the 3 experts from the wrapped corpse tribe saw this, they let out a cold, murderous cry. The wrapped corpse cloth turned into a bloody cloth instantly. On the surface of the bloody cloth, blood-red mummies were formed. They charged towards Wang Xian and bit him. You guys have really infuriated me. Let's end this quickly. Wang Xian's eyes were filled with murderous intent. This was the territory of the wrapped corpse tribe and he could not stay here for too long. Roar. Wang Xian let out a loud roar and transformed into his divine dragon form. 8 Dragons Doppelganger. After transforming into his divine dragon form, he immediately unleashed his strongest attack. Laws of Dharma, 8 Dragons Doppelganger. He had to break through this place as soon as possible or annihilate the experts from the wrapped corpse tribe. These cold and emotionless wrapped corpse tribe members made him feel extremely uncomfortable. When the 8 divine dragon shadows appeared and the 5 elements grindstone released a horrifying attack, the 3 experts from the wrapped corpse tribe paused for a moment. Bam bam bam. The powerful 8 dragon doppelganger attacked in all directions. Huge cracks appeared on the wrapped corpse cloth. The 5 elements grindstone also released a horrifying destructive river that swept across the surroundings. Chapter 3307. Kill, kill, kill. Sensing the immense strength that Wang Xian had unleashed, the 3 experts from the Wrapped Corpse tribe let out a low growl. Their shrouds flew out of their bodies. Gradually, the true faces of the 3 experts from the Wrapped Corpse tribe appeared before Wang Xian. Each of the 3 old men was incomparably pale. Their skin was white, even their eyeballs were white. It was a little creepy, as if he was a freak among humans. Their white arms were holding onto long burial cloths as they attacked Wang Xian with their natal burial cloths. From the burial cloth, Wang Xian could feel the terrifying power of the wind attribute. "You've really angered me." Wang Xian's eyes were filled with cold killing intent. He was not prepared to fight to the death with the 3 experts of the Wrapped Corpse clan, but since they did not allow him to leave, they could not blame him for being fierce. Did they really think that he was afraid of them? Die! Wang Xian let out a violent roar. The Tai Chi dragon plate revolved around his body. He no longer intended to break through and escape. Instead, he attacked an expert from the Wrapped Corpse tribe. At the same time, the great grindstone of 5 elements shone brightly, and a grayish shadow of a divine dragon rushed out from it. All sorts of acquired spiritual treasures and acquired supreme treasures attacked that expert from the Shrouded Corpse clan. Be careful! When the 2 experts from the Wrapped Corpse clan saw Wang Xian locking onto one of their clansmen, their expressions changed as they shouted coldly. A pair of miserable eyes were filled with traces of blood. Without any hesitation, the 2 of them extended the power of darkness to their natal shroud. In an instant, the natal shroud turned into a demonic sword and pierced towards Wang Xian. However, at this moment, Wang Xian had completely disregarded the attacks of the 2 experts from the Wrapped Corpse tribe. He stared coldly at the expert from the Wrapped Corpse clan in front of him. Die! The eyes of the expert from the Wrapped Corpse tribe were filled with violence. The shroud in front of him extended and struck towards Wang Xian. At the side, the gray divine dragon formed by the 5 elements grindstone charged towards the shroud with a terrifying attack. The shroud was instantly suppressed by the 5 elements grindstone's attack. This caused the expression of the Wrapped Corpse clan's powerhouse to change drastically. At this moment, Wang Xian's attack followed closely behind. "You're the one who will die." When the expert from the Wrapped Corpse clan saw Wang Xian charging towards him, there wasn't the slightest fear on his face. This was because the other 2 experts from the Wrapped Corpse tribe had already launched their attacks at Wang Xian from the side. Boom! The 2 natal shrouds emitted terrifying energy as they landed on Wang Xian. However, at this moment, the Tai Chi dragon coil spun. That terrifying attack landed on him, causing ripples to form around him. The attacks of the 2 experts from the Wrapped Corpse clan were completely blocked. What? At this moment, the experts from the Wrapped Corpse clan who were at the front finally had a drastic change of expression. Roar! Wang Xian bellowed. The dragon claw exuded a grayish destructive force as it clawed at him. That expert from the Wrapped Corpse race stretched out his palm. Boundless power of darkness blocked the attack. Pooh! However, under Wang Xian's terrifying attack, the dragon claws penetrated the darkness and grabbed hold of his body. "Do you really think that I don't dare to fight you because I'm afraid of you?" A cold glint flashed in Wang Xian's eyes as he clenched his dragon claws. Pooh! Terrifying energy engulfed their bodies and killed them instantly. How is this possible? How can his defense be so terrifying? At the side, the other 2 experts from the Wrapped Corpse clan were embarrassed when they saw their all-out attack landing on Wang Xian. On the contrary, one of their companions was killed. Their eyes were filled with shock and anger. Roar! In the next moment, Wang Xian's figure disappeared instantly. When he reappeared, he was already behind an expert from the Wrapped Corpse clan. "Be careful!" The other expert immediately warned loudly with a drastic change in his expression. In a situation where they were fighting 3 against 1, one of them was killed by the other party. Now, they were also in a dangerous situation. Swish, swish, swish. Sensing Wang Xian's attack, that expert from the Wrapped Corpse clan waved his arm. The natal shroud in front of him quickly wrapped around his body. Bam! However, at this moment, the terrifying attack landed on him, causing him to spurt out blood. The natal shroud that had yet to wrap him completely was dyed red. Bam! In the next moment, a sharp sword flew out from the 5 elements grindstone and pierced the body of the expert from the Wrapped Corpse clan. The sharp sword penetrated the natal shroud and penetrated his body. The attack from the expert from the Wrapped Corpse clan landed on Wang Xian. However, it still couldn't break through the defense of the Tai Chi dragon plate. Bam! The dragon claws landed on the body of the second expert from the Wrapped Corpse clan. Terrifying energy engulfed him. Run! The last expert from the Wrapped Corpse clan had a drastic change in his expression. Seizing the opportunity, he vanished instantly. At the side, more than 10 experts from the Wrapped Corpse clan also fled in a panic. Tisk! Seeing them fleeing, Wang Xian didn't continue to chase after them. He waved his arm and kept the corpses into the mother nest. He looked around and didn't dare to stay any longer. He left immediately and flew out of the territory of the Wrapped Corpse clan. 10 minutes after he left, more than 10 experts from the Wrapped Corpse clan flew over. They stood there with a cold and gloomy aura for a full 5 minutes before they left. It's just a postnatal cardinal treasure and the competition is so intense. After Wang Xian left the territory of the Wrapped Corpse clan, he shook his head slightly. He transformed into his human form and continued traversing through the chaotic continent. Because of a postnatal cardinal treasure, 2 rank 8 universe venerables died. This might be something that the Wrapped Corpse clan didn't expect. It was too difficult to kill someone of the same level. If Wang Xian didn't rely on his terrifying speed and strong defense, it would be hard for him to kill someone of the same level. However, the 3 experts from the Wrapped Corpse clan thought that they had Wang Xian in the bag. Hence, they were killed by him. However, obtaining in postnatal cardinal treasure and 2 corpses of rank 8 universe venerables is still a great harvest. Wang Xian murmured and revealed a smile. As for the possibility of offending the Wrapped Corpse clan, he wasn't too concerned. The Wrapped Corpse clan still couldn't break through the defense of the Dragon Palace. Get ready and continue, Wang Xian murmured. With a move of his body, he opened the universe AI. Next, he was preparing to attack another city in the Lich country. He had already chosen his target, the 5 insect city in the Lich country. The 5 insect city wasn't far from where Wang Xian was now. This time, it might be different from the previous time. This time, the Lich country should be prepared. I have to be more careful and not get surrounded, he murmured. Once he was surrounded, he would still be in danger of dying. Therefore, he had to be fully prepared for the destruction of the city this time. Chapter 3308, 5 Insect City is ahead. Wang Xian continued flying in the chaotic continent for another 2 days. A city appeared in his sight, and his eyes sparkled. At this moment, his body had changed. A pair of horns grew on his head, and his face was covered in red dragon scales. His entire body was covered in dragon scales, making him look like a dragon man. This form wasn't out of the ordinary in 5 Insect City, it was even similar to the liches of 5 Insect City. In 5 Insect City, many liches had all sorts of scales, tentacles, etc. Moreover, 5 Insect City's blessed land could give birth to a special kind of beetle. This beetle had an extremely tough carapace. When Wang Xian entered the city, he did not fly towards the grotto heaven of 5 Insects City immediately, nor did he strike immediately. When he attacked Scorpion Emperor City, it was a complete surprise. The Shaman Kingdom would never have expected Wang Xian to destroy their cities. Under such circumstances, it was easy for him to succeed. However, after taking precautions, the other cities would definitely take precautions as well. For example, they could set up more concealment formations. Once something happened to the city, a large number of experts could be teleported there directly. Therefore, Wang Xian had to be fully prepared for this attack. Quick, after entering the city, you are not allowed to leave. 5 Insect City will enter a state of alert. When Wang Xian arrived at the city gate, he heard a voice coming from the front. Has the city been sealed? Wang Xian raised his eyebrows slightly and continued walking in. With his current appearance, even the Lich King would have a hard time recognizing him if he didn't attack. Scorpion Emperor City was actually destroyed, and it was the doing of the Dragon Palace's Dragon Kings? Dragon King of Dragon Palace? The Dragon King of the Dragon Palace that surrounded the starry sky? Did he eat the bear's heart and a leopard's gall? How dare you provoke our Lich Kingdom? A force that encircles the starry sky dares to attack us? Courting death. Let's destroy their dragon palace. As he walked further in, he could hear the discussions of the liches around him. Wang Xian squinted his eyes and came to a beast fighting hall of the Lich clan. There were many people here, and all kinds of information could be obtained here. Moreover, he sent a message to Yamada no Orochi and the others to inquire about the situation. Under the current circumstances, the Venom Horn Dragon could do even more things. For example, if the Venom Horn Dragon took some experts from 5 Insect City, it would be able to obtain the Lich Country's plan. This way, it would be much easier to fight. Wang Xian sat within the Beast Battle Dojo in the Lich Nation, watching the 2 Void God Emperor-level desolate beasts fighting. The surrounding liches cheered. However, at this moment, at the edge of the Great Wilderness Continent, over 1,000 figures were standing on a centipede-like lich with countless legs, flying rapidly. Heaven-devouring centipede. This was the famous heaven-devouring centipede of the Lich Kingdom. It was also a powerful lich. This heaven-devouring centipede was the mount of the Lich King. Only when war broke out would the Lich King ride the heaven-devouring centipede into battle. The heaven-devouring centipede's speed was very fast. In a flash, it traversed a distance of 1 light year. They flew out of the Great Wilderness Continent, towards the inner region of the continental encirclement starry sky, towards the lair of the ancient sea race. While the various main cities of the Lich Nation were defending, the Lich King led thousands of experts towards the Dragon Palace. Since the Dragon Palace dared to attack them, they would annihilate the Dragon Palace. As the Dragon Palace was the one who attacked first, they did not break the rules. Time passed quickly. Wang Xian was temporarily staying in a lair located within the 5 Insect City. Enlai, Mo Sha, and the 3 Venom Horn Dragons were standing respectfully in front of him. Dragon King, Yamada no Orochi will need another 7 days to break through. However, in this 5 Insect City, me and my 3 subordinates should be sufficient. Mo Sha said to Wang Xian confidently. Mo Sha currently possessed the combat power of a rank 7 universe supremacy. Beside him were the 3 Venom Horn Dragons who possessed the combat power of a rank 6 universe supremacy. As for Yamada no Orochi, he used the corpse of the 1,000-faced poisonous scorpion after Wang Xian annihilated the Scorpion Emperor city. However, he still needed another 7 days to break through. Alright, but be careful. The entire Lich Nation is on high alert. There might be rank 8 universe supremacies guarding this place. Wang Xian reminded them. Yes, Dragon King. Mo Sha and the rest nodded their heads. After which, they moved and vanished rapidly. Enlai's figure also moved and slowly disappeared. Wang Xian sat in his room, brewed a cup of tea, and waited for news with a smile. At this moment, he received a message from Prime Minister Turtle. When he saw the message, he squinted his eyes. Are they starting to take revenge now? He mumbled to himself. Rumble, rumble, rumble. At this moment, within the territory of the Guhai tribe, a huge heaven-devouring centipede was flying ahead rapidly. Lord Lich King, the Dragon Palace is in front. A subordinate reported to the Lich King on the head of the demonic dragon. All experts of the Lich Nation, get ready. As long as they are disciples of the Dragon Palace, kill them on sight. The Lich King roared with a stern face. Yes. The rest of the experts of the Lich Nation bellowed with stern faces. They stared coldly at the front. Today, it had been a month since the Dragon Palace annihilated the Guhai tribe and the Orthodox god races. The experts of the Lich Nation had taken away the treasures of the Orthodox god races, damaging the prestige of the Dragon Palace. However, the Dragon Palace was still an overlord in the continental starry sky. After the Dragon Palace arrived at the Guhai tribe, many forces from the continental starry sky came to visit them every day. Even the forces that were further away came over to send their congratulatory gifts. After all, the strength displayed by the Dragon Palace made all the forces in the continental starry sky fearful. They sent their congratulatory gifts to leave a good impression on the Dragon Palace. In case any reckless disciples offended the Dragon Palace, there would still be room for negotiation. Today, in the ocean of the Gu Hai tribe's main planet, over a dozen forces rushed over to visit the Dragon Palace. It's a pity that I didn't get to see the Dragon King. However, the Dragon Palace is indeed as kind as the other forces said. They are not too overbearing. Indeed, be it the Dragon Queen or the experts of the Dragon Palace, they are all kind. This is good news for us. The Dragon King's strength should be at rank 8 universe supremacy, right? I wonder when the Dragon Palace will launch its landing battle. In the sky above the Dragon Palace, over a dozen forces and thousands of experts came out of the Dragon Palace. They all wore smiles on their faces. Boom! Suddenly, a horrifying aura surged over, causing all of them to hold their breaths and turn pale. What's going on? Chapter 3309. What's going on? The experts who had just come out of the Dragon Palace were shocked by the suffocating aura. They were all rank 4 and rank 5 universe supremacies. They were considered strong even in the continental encirclement galaxy. However, the aura from afar made them shudder. What kind of existence was this? The experts from the various forces were shocked as they hurriedly fled. Boom! At this moment, they saw a centipede with a terrifying aura flying over. On the body of the centipede, there were figures that struck fear into their hearts. This group of people did not conceal their aura at all. SSS, so many experts. Poor they. The experts from the various forces were shocked as they asked. Those who are not from the Dragon Palace, scram now. At this time, a cold voice was heard. An expert from the Lich Kingdom stared at the experts from the various forces with a stern face. Under such a terrifying gaze, everyone felt their scalps go numb as they hurriedly retreated further away. Them? What are they here for? Are they experts from the Great Desolate Continent? Everyone's eyes widened in shock. Why did so many experts suddenly appear? Weren't the experts from the Chaotic Continent forbidden to attack the forces surrounding the continental encirclement galaxy? How dare they violate the rules? The group of people flew far away and looked over in this direction. Dragon Palace, you deserve to die. Dragon King, how dare you destroy the Scorpion Emperor city of the Lich Kingdom? You are declaring war against the Lich Kingdom. From today onwards, the Dragon Palace will be the enemy of the Lich Kingdom. We will not rest until we destroy it. At this moment, the Lich King's voice reverberated throughout the galaxy. This was a statement from the Lich Kingdom and also a declaration of war. When the powerhouses of the dozen or so forces heard the Lich King's words, they were shocked. What's going on? The Dragon King isn't in the Dragon Palace. He went to the Chaotic Continent and destroyed a city of the Lich Kingdom. This is too ruthless. Is the Dragon King from the Dragon Palace so ferocious? The Lich Kingdom snatched the spoils of war from the Dragon Palace and the Dragon King killed his way to the Lich Kingdom and destroyed a city? Oh my! At this moment, the powerhouses from the dozen or so forces opened their mouths wide in disbelief. The treasures and divine kingdoms of the righteous god races were stolen by the Lich Kingdom. This matter was exposed and the entire continent encirclement space knew about it. Even the forces at the edge of the Great Desolate Continent knew about it. All the forces in the surrounding starry sky were well aware of the Lich Kingdom's strength. That was a force that had more than 10 level 8 universe venerables, and occupied several blessed lands in the Chaotic Continent. Their strength and foundation were extremely terrifying. Everyone thought that the Dragon Palace would keep the peace and swallow the loss quietly. But what they didn't expect was that the Dragon King would directly charge into the Chaotic Continent and destroy one of the main cities of the Lich Kingdom. They were declaring war on the Lich Kingdom. This was too ferocious, too desperate. The Dragon Palace was no match for the Lich Kingdom. Now, the experts of the Lich Kingdom were charging over. The experts of the various forces swallowed their saliva. At the same time, they sent this shocking news to the universe AI. The Lich Kingdom, when you dared to steal the treasures of the Dragon Palace, you were already the enemy of the Dragon Palace. Since the Dragon Palace dared to destroy your Scorpion Emperor city, we are not afraid of your revenge. Do you really think that the Dragon Palace is afraid of you? Prime Minister Turtle stood in the Dragon Palace, laughing wildly, and roared without a trace of fear. Before the experts of the Lich Kingdom arrived, the Dragon Palace had already received the news. All the members of the Dragon Palace had entered the Dragon Palace. Next, like the main cities of the Lich Kingdom, the Dragon Palace went into defense. They wanted to see who would be the first to admit defeat in the end. Courting death, blow up the Dragon Palace for me. The Lich King roared furiously. He moved and flew towards the Dragon Palace at a terrifying speed. Around him, thousands of experts of the Lich Kingdom followed closely, attacking the Dragon Palace. Die. As they flew over, they had already begun to gather the terrifying power of laws. In an instant, the sky above the Dragon Palace looked like it was doomsday. In the next instant, all sorts of terrifying attacks poured down on the Dragon Palace. Hee. In the Dragon Palace, all the members of the Dragon Palace looked on coldly. Bam bam bam. In the surrounding area, the experts of the various forces in the surrounding starry sky watched the attacks in shock. The energy that could easily annihilate all of them landed on the Dragon Palace, giving off a deafening sound. All sorts of energy tore through the void and drowned the Dragon Palace. In the sky, the Lich King stared coldly with his blood-red dragon eyes. At this time, when they sensed that the Dragon Palace was not damaged, their faces changed slightly. Continue attacking. I don't believe that we can't break the Dragon Palace. The Lich King roared coldly. In the next instant, another round of attacks poured down on the Dragon Palace. The attack power was at least at the level of a rank 5 universe supremacy. With such power, no forces in the surrounding starry sky could withstand it. As the energy poured down, the Dragon Palace remained unmoved and undamaged. The Lich Kingdom still couldn't break the defense of the Dragon Palace. Is this the trump card of the Dragon Palace? The reason why they dared to offend the Lich Kingdom was because of the invincible defense of the Dragon Palace? The experts from the various forces murmured. Damn it! The Lich King swept his gaze across the Dragon Palace below and stopped attacking. He had seen the defense of the Dragon Palace for himself. However, he didn't give up. He didn't believe that they couldn't break the Dragon Palace with their strength. Set up a large-scale array formation. The Lich King ordered sternly. They were from the sorcerer lineage, and the experts he brought this time were inclined towards array formations. As long as they were given enough time to set up a powerful array formation, they were confident that they could break the Dragon Palace. The rest of the experts from the Lich Kingdom responded immediately. They were mentally prepared for the scene in front of them. After all, everyone knew about the defense of the Dragon Palace of the Divine Dragon lineage. They could also guess that the reason why the Dragon King dared to openly declare war was because of the Dragon Palace. However, the Lich Kingdom was confident in their own strength. Seal the surroundings. If any experts from the Dragon Palace dare to come out, kill them immediately. Any living being that steps into the territory of the Dragon Palace will be seen as the enemy of the Lich Kingdom. A Lich with the combat power of a rank 8 venerable roared. Chapter 33:10. Around the Dragon Palace, the Witch Kingdom's experts began to set up arrays. Apart from body modification, the sorcerer's greatest strength was arrays. Especially when the sorcerer was defending. If a sorcerer was given enough time to set up a large number of arrays, he could even fight 1 against 6 or more. In the past, the Sky Array had used arrays to block a large number of experts. Now, the Witch Kingdom was using the same method. The Dragon Palace relied on the Dragon Palace's defense. In terms of experts, the Witch Kingdom was confident of defeating them. They could completely seal off the Dragon Palace. Once any member of the Dragon Palace came out, they could kill him or her. Under such circumstances, they could set up powerful arrays around the Dragon Palace. If they set up enough arrays, along with some postnatal treasures of the shaman country, they were confident that the arrays they set up could even kill a rank 9 venerable. Using arrays to break through the Dragon Palace. That was their plan. However, setting up the arrays would require a lot of time. The Witch Kingdom could afford to wait that long. Just as the Witch Kingdom's experts were preparing to break through the Dragon Palace with a raise. On the Universe AI, the news of the Witch Kingdom attacking the Dragon Palace had spread throughout the continental encirclement galaxy. When everyone learned that the Dragon King had attacked the Witch Kingdom and destroyed one of their cities, there was an uproar. This Dragon King is too ruthless. So what if he is a powerful force of the chaotic continent? He has to pay the price for stealing the Dragon Palace's treasures. This is a direct declaration of war against the Witch Kingdom. Can the Dragon Palace withstand it? The Dragon Palace has already withstood the Witch Kingdom's first wave of attack. I wonder if they can withstand the rest. All the forces in the continental encirclement galaxy were discussing this war. Who would have thought that the Dragon King would be so courageous? Stealing the Dragon Palace's treasures, I will destroy your city. Too fierce. Before long, even some of the forces of the chaotic continent knew about this. They were all dumbfounded. No one knew the Witch Kingdom's strength better than them. They could be ranked top 3 in their peripheral positions. They were absolute experts. However, a force of the continental encirclement galaxy dared to challenge them and openly declare war. This was unbelievable. Had the Dragon Palace gone mad, or did they have the confidence to resist the Lich Kingdom's attack? The forces surrounding the continent of Starry Sky and the borders of the desolate continent were all paying attention to this battle. At the same time, within 5 Bug City, Wang Xian smiled as he looked at the information on the Universe AI. To break through the defense of the Dragon Palace, one would need the strength of a universe ruler. As for the demonic Dragon Dark World and the Fire Dragon Palace, they also needed the strength of a universe ruler to break through them. As for the other 2 Dragon Palaces, they were not needed. However, they had already been kept and were being devoured by Ao Xie and the others. Therefore, Wang Xian wasn't worried about the situation at the Dragon Palace. Days passed. The experts of the Shaman country were busy setting up all sorts of formations. They were ready to break through the Dragon Palace in one fell swoop. As for Wang Xian, he was waiting quietly for Masha and the rest, as well as the breakthrough of Orochi. Dragon King. 3 days later, a lich with the head of a bull and a carapace on his back came to Wang Xian's place and greeted him respectfully. Success. Wang Xian stood up and looked at Mo Sha with a beaming face. Yes, Dragon King. If they don't have any other hidden forces, I have more or less figured out the situation in 5 Bug City. Masha nodded and continued. Currently, there are no rank 8 universe supremacies in 5 Bug City. However, if 5 Bug City is attacked, there will be 6 to 7 rank 8 universe supremacies that will rush over immediately. Other than that, there are 12 rank 7 universe supremacies in 5 Bug City. Another important point is that within the 5 Bug Grotto Heaven, if the experts in 5 Bug City make use of the Grotto Heaven to activate the formation within, they can trap and even kill rank 8 universe supremacies. Those below rank 9 can forget about escaping. Masha reported all the information regarding 5 Bug City. A formation that can trap and even kill rank 8 universe supremacies? When Wang Xian heard this, his heart skipped a beat. Now, Wang Xian was very confident in his defense and speed. They were both comparable to rank 9 universe supremacies. Logically speaking, with such strength, he should not be afraid of the Shaman country. However, in reality, Wang Xian was still very wary of the Shaman country. Because the Shaman country was a sorcerer. The strange curse technique could ignore the defense of the Tai Chi Dragon Coil and directly affect his body. The defense of the Tai Chi Dragon Coil was ineffective. A powerful binding array formation could trap him. Wang Xian's defense was strong, his speed was strong, but his offensive strength was only at rank 8 universe supremacies. Once he was trapped, the experts of the Shaman country could easily kill him. Just like the formation within the 5 Bug Grotto Heaven. Once he was trapped, he could only wait for death. Even with Enlai, he did not dare to take the risk. If there was an attack within the binding formation, Enlai would not be able to block it. Can you break the formation? Wang Xian asked Masha. The formation requires 5 rank 7 universe supremacies within the 5 Bug Grotto Heaven to activate it. At that time, I can destroy it from the outside. Masha said. That's great. Wang Xian squinted his eyes and looked at him. Can you bring me into the 5-bug grotto heaven? If you can kill that rank 7 universe supremacy, it will be even easier. It's hard to enter. With the formation set up by the experts of the shaman country, I can't break it with my strength. Ma Shi shook his head. After all, he was only a rank 7 universe supremacy, a lich. All right, go and prepare. When the time comes, I will force my way into the 5-bug grotto heaven and destroy their teleportation formation. Wang Xian nodded his head and instructed, Yes, Dragon King. We will destroy the 3 hidden formations as soon as possible, said Gu Shenwei. Ma Shi nodded his head. You go back first. I will make my move in an hour. Wang Xian nodded his head. Yes, Dragon King. Ma Shi replied and left immediately. Wang Xian looked at the time, walked out of the room, and headed towards the 5-bug grotto heaven in the center of the 5-bug grotto heaven. Just like the Scorpion Emperor city, most of the experts in the 5-bug grotto heaven were in the 5-bug grotto heaven. Every grotto heaven has a unique and powerful ability. This is why the experts in the surrounding starry skies want to enter. The resources in the blessed grotto heaven are too tempting. If I can occupy a blessed grotto heaven, I might be able to fight against races and forces that are stronger than me. Wang Xian pondered as he walked. To many forces, the battle to land was extremely difficult. Half an hour later, Wang Xian came to the front of the 5-bug grotto heaven. At the same time, in the sky above the Dragon Palace, after a few days of preparation, the formation of the shaman country was completed. The second round of attacks would be launched at the same time. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.